I'm a used car dealer and I sell cars that are $5,000 and under. It's very, very rare, especially in this market right now, for us to have a truck. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what I paid for a lot of my cars. All right, here's a good example of a car that we probably shouldn't have bought. There goes my paper. And this one we might be wrong. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm going to make when I sell them. Here's a really good one I can show you. This is we paid $2,000 for it. You have fees and everything like that, but we'll end up selling it probably. So if you've been paying attention to prices behind me whenever I'm walking through, you'll notice that we've got maybe 2 or 3 cars that are like 5,500 bucks. And my thing is I like to be $5,000 and under. I'm a car dealer that sells cars for under $5,000. Here's the thing, sometimes we buy cars wrong. We either spend too much on them or we buy a car that might actually need some work later on that's very expensive. You think like a motor, like a transmission. And if we pay $3,500 for a vehicle and then we have to put a $1,500 transmission in it, then sometimes we could be in it like $5,000 and then we try to make still a little bit of money on it. Maybe we put it at 5,500 bucks or usually what the case is, because we check him out pretty well. Alex does a good job. He's my mechanic who buys a lot of my cars. He does a good job, but sometimes we pay too much for a car. That happens, and it's very rare, but just so you know, I know when I've done some of these videos before and I have like a $5,500 car behind me, I see it in the comments. That's just for your information. Yes, I try to stay under $5,000, but sometimes it doesn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out. Sometimes we just buy a car wrong. We make mistakes, and when we make mistakes, we have to charge a little bit more for a car. Maybe the market's going to tell us it's too much for these cars that we're trying to sell for 5,500 bucks. Maybe it's going to tell us that we made this mistake and we have to lower the price. But after a couple of weeks, if we don't sell it, we don't move it for that, then we will lower our price. But just for 95+% of our cars, we're going to be at that $5,000 and under price range. That's where I like to be. All right, here's a good example of a car that we probably shouldn't have bought. So this is a Chevy Cobalt. Let me see if I can find, there it is. It's and just to show you that I'm not lying about all these numbers, I got my price sheet right here. 2010 Chevy Cobalt. It's got 171,000 miles. Paid $900 for it. That's all we paid for it, 900 bucks. But I shouldn't have pulled you away because now I'm gonna have to find the price again. $170 in buyer fees. But in repair costs, this is our repair cost column, we had to pay $899 for repairs on this Cobalt. So this is a situation where, okay, we thought we were going to get a screaming deal on this car, be able to sell it for like $2,000, $2,500 bucks. But now we've got $2,000 in the car after all our repairs. So it's going to have to be a $3,000 car. And honestly, we're probably not going to be able to sell it at $3,000. We're going to put it at $3,000 for 2 weeks. Probably not going to get any hits on it. Maybe around tax time, we'll be able to sell it for that because people just have money and we'll run out of cars, especially in that $3,000, $3,500 range. But most likely, market's going to tell us, hey, this is not a $3,500 car, it's not a $3,000 car, and we'll back it up to like 2,500 bucks, and we'll probably sell it there. That's what I predict to happen. I've done this for a long time now, 14 years now, and I mean, you try to mark cars off of what you have in the car, but sometimes you're just wrong. There goes my paper. And this one we might be wrong. There goes another paper. And it's very important for me that I make a video like this for you guys because it's rare throughout the course of the year that you're going to see this many cars on my car dealership. So I want to do it now. I did it last year. You guys seem to like seeing what I pay for a lot of these cars, like hearing about the business. So it's not necessarily all about what's going on in the car market from Ford, GM. I can show you more of what I'm dealing with at my car lot on this channel too. So if you like more of this stuff, make sure you subscribe and let me know that you want to see more about my car lot. Typically we do more about just the car market in general, but I guess this kind of works itself into the car market because we're about to be crazy, and so will all other car dealers, and that will affect prices. So it's good for you to see what I'm doing at my car lot right now, what I plan to do, and what I think that the market is going to do in the near future. All right, here's another good one for us to pick out. This is a F-150, and the reason why I want to pick it out is because it's very, very rare, especially in this market right now, for us to have a truck. Trucks you just don't find for under $5,000, and this one we're selling for $5,000. but I paid $2,700 for it. We had to do some repairs on it. We had to spend some money on it. We're all in this thing a little over 3,200 bucks, marking up to $5,000, and we'll sell it. We'll sell it for that $5,000, because if you go anywhere, I don't care where you are in the country, for any kind of truck that's even it just runs and it's semi-clean and it's not salvage, or it's not beat up, or it doesn't have any major mechanical problems at the time, you're not paying less than $5,000 for a truck. You're not paying probably less than $7,000 for a truck right now. And I wish I could have tons of trucks on my lot. And I get questions all the time. I get emails from you guys all the time. Hey, I'm looking for a truck, and I know that you sell stuff for $5,000 and under. I need one. I need one for $5,000 and under. If I could have a lot full of trucks that were $4,500, $5,000, even $5,500 or $6,000, if I could buy them cheap enough to be able to sell them for that, we would go through some trucks. But you just can't find them. So this is just something that I want to point out that you will not see. It doesn't matter if it's tax time or any other time throughout the year. It's very, very hard for us to buy trucks that we can sell for $5,000 or under. All right, here's one I want to point out that's very rare for us. This is a Nissan Versa. We're selling it for $3,500 bucks. It's already posted. A lot of these cars I'm showing you before they go through recon, but this one is actually posted. It's a 2009 Nissan Versa. It's only got 90,000 miles. We got 1,900 bucks that we bought it for, buyer fee. So we're in it total for $2,165. But the reason why I want to point this one out and why it's so rare is because of the amount of miles. So typically when my papers are driving me crazy here, but typically when we're buying these cars, we can't buy cars that only have 90,000 miles to be in our price range. So sometimes stuff like this slides through the cracks, and we're able to pay only $2,000 for it, and we can sell it for $3,500 bucks and still make that $1,200-ish profit after the fees from auction, everything like that, after we buy it. Somebody's gonna get a great deal on this car because it's only got 90,000 miles. I mean, but we typically can't do that, because 90,000 mile cars typically can't be sold for $5,000 and under, and you still make money on them, because there's so much more at auction. But this is just one to point out, to say every once in a while I do get stuff that has low mileage, but most of the stuff that you're going to see out here, when I buy it, it's got to have like 150,000 miles or above. And the reason why we're able to do that is because of where we live. I'm in North Carolina, and we don't get a lot of salt on the roads here. We don't have a lot of snow, a lot of ice. So that means we don't deal with a lot of rust. So a lot of these frames, where even a car like this has only got 90,000 miles, if it's 10, 15 years old, if you're in the Rust Belt, that car is going to be gone. It's going to be disintegrated. But here, we don't have to deal with that. We can have a car that's got 250,000 miles and it's 25 years old, and the frame can still look brand new around here. And in a lot of places around the country, you just don't see that. And that's why dealers like me in certain parts of the country, you're not going to find them. They don't exist because the cars don't exist. And this right here is a 2015 Nissan Pathfinder, and I'll tell you exactly what I paid for it right after this.
Did you know that your personal data is being sold online? Data brokers collect and sell your name, address, phone number, and even sometimes details about your family. That means anyone can buy your info, putting you at risk for identity theft, phishing scams, or even unwanted spam calls. That's why I want to thank Delete Me for sponsoring this video and helping people take back control of their privacy. Delete Me is a hands-free service that removes your personal information from hundreds of data broker websites. Their privacy experts find where your data is exposed, submit removal requests, and keep you updated with detailed privacy reports all year long. They even keep monitoring these sites to make sure your info stays off. Go to joindeleteme.com/CQA and use promo code CQA to get 20% off all plans. That's joindeleteme.com/CQA. Don't wait until your data is in the wrong hands. Check out the link below in the description to get started today.
All right, so this 2015 Nissan Pathfinder, it's got 161,000 miles. We paid $2,000 for it. You have fees and everything like that, but we'll end up selling it probably $3,500. If there's something wrong with it, maybe $4,000, but it's probably going to land right around that $3,500 range. And I'll buy this stuff quite a bit. The thing about like Nissans, you think like a Versa or Muranos I'll stay away from, but the Pathfinders, the transmissions weren't as bad as like your Muranos. The transmission's absolute garbage. We will not buy those. Pathfinders, Nissan Versas weren't as bad as the Muranos, so we'll take some chances on those. And we make sure though, especially with Nissans, I'm trying to think of what else has some transmission issues that we've dealt with in the past. Like some of your like 6-cylinder Hondas, even Honda, you're notorious for reliability, right? They have some models that weren't so great. Hopefully the car market gets better later on this year. I hope prices come down on these new car manufacturers. They'll sell more cars. They'll send more cars through trade-ins to auction. We can be more picky, and we wouldn't buy something like this because it is a gamble. But when we buy these gamble kind of cars, we drive them. We drive them a lot before we sell them. Actually, just about every car that we buy, we drive a lot. And we have to do that usually to get them inspected anyway. Because in North Carolina, I gotta get stuff inspected, and for the computer system to clear, we have to put a lot of miles on them. So this is one of the examples of something that we wouldn't traditionally buy if we had the option to just pick and choose a bunch of different cars. But now, when we have a limited quality and quantity of cars at these auctions, then we'll buy something like this. And but when we do, we have to make sure. Common issues that cars like this would have, transmission, motor, stuff like that, that they're 100% good before we sell them. Because I mean, I'm a used car dealer, and a lot of people look at my Google reviews, things like that, and we want to make sure that we still have a good rating throughout the community. A lot of our sales come from repeats and referrals, so I want to make sure my customer's happy. And I'll say from our Google reviews, I mean, we sell a lot of cars. And we sell cars that are $5,000 and under, and even with that, we still have like a 4.4, 4.3 Google star rating, and we have lots and lots and lots of reviews. That's very difficult for any used car dealer to do, just in general, but for a car dealer who sells stuff that's $5,000 and under, I mean, our customers are pretty happy, and we have very few that aren't happy. And our Google reviews will show it. 4.3. Car dealer that sells cars are under $5,000, and we have that kind of reviews. Yeah, we're doing a good job. So I've shown you a lot of cars throughout this video that we're buying right now, how much we're paying for them. And if you look behind me when I'm walking through these cars, we have actually 3 rows of cars, and traditionally throughout the year, that's not the standard for us. Right now, I've got about 150 cars. Usually, I only want to keep probably 70, 80, 90 cars because that's really all we can hold on this lot. We've got like 40 cars that are being stored at a storage lot. But the reason why I have so many of these cars right now, and look, I got Nate, my manager over there, just pulled up and starting the 4th row because we're getting more cars ready, we're getting them in here. But the reason why we're so overstocked right now is because we have the busiest time of the year that's about to hit us in the face, and we're probably a week, 2 weeks away from that, where people will get tax refund checks right in about this range, like $3,500, and they'll come and they'll wipe us out. So what'll happen is in about a 2-week, 10-day, 15-day span, we'll sell just about everything that I have on my lot. And it's such an important time for us throughout the year that we'll, in that what, 15-day to a month span, we'll make about 25% of what we'll make all year round, just in that very short amount of time. I like to be loaded up for this time of year. There's a lot of other dealers that can't do this. Either they don't have the money to be able to do it, we are not on floor plan, we don't borrow money for our cars, I pay cash. I keep cash ready to go for December, January, February, so we can load up and really just buy as much as we can. I turn Alex loose. I say, look, just buy anything and everything that we can sell at this price point around that range. And that's what he does, and that's what he's done, and that's why we have so many of these cars sitting out here right now. But we kill it. We kill it during tax time, and then after that, we'll go on a little mini vacation of buying cars. We'll still be selling cars. We'll sell what we have left, but we want to get rid of everything that we have here now during tax time, because we know after tax time, prices are going to come back down again. There's still dealers other like me that are loaded up on cars. So even right now, prices will be a little bit higher than they will be in probably 3 or 4 months. So I know that if I skip that 2 to 3 month time frame of buying cars, then I'll be able to go back in there and reload the whole lot up again with prices that I know are really good. And that's what we wait for after tax time, is for this mini crash that happens every single year in the car market, where you have, okay, the slowest time period of the year, which is December, January for used car dealers. Then we have this massive spike at wholesale, because dealers will do just like I do, sell a bunch of cars to their lot. They'll rush to the auction, pay way too much, and then they'll get overexposed and the money's gone, and then there'll be a massive crash. And then I wait for that massive crash every single year to be able to go back in and buy a fresh new load of inventory. Here's a really good one I can show you. This is a 2011 Toyota Camry, and we only have $2,000 in this thing. So this is one that I'd like to show. The thing that probably got us a cheaper car is that, okay, it's missing the hubcap back there, and that hubcap is terrible. But that's something that we can easily fix. And we go through the situation a lot where we buy cars that have, okay, maybe some rough paint, maybe they don't have matching hubcaps, or the tires aren't good. Easy fixes are the things that I really like to buy, because we can get this car, it might have been $500 cheaper, maybe even $1,000 cheaper, because there's dealers out there, they're just so lazy, they don't want to buy freaking hubcaps for the car. They don't want to put them on there. They don't have any help. They're just a mom and pop shop that's got one person. It's the dealer that owns it, and he wants to do as little work as possible. So anything like that, they just turn his nose up at. But I love buying stuff like this. We paid $2,000 for this car, and we'll be able to sell it. We'll put what, $35 in hubcaps on it, and we'll be able to sell this thing for $3,500, no problem. And if I could have a lot full of Toyota Camrys, that's the only thing that I would have. I love Toyota Camrys. These 4-cylinder engines, you couldn't kill these things. Going back to even like 1996, those 4-cylinder motors. And I still think the best vehicle that you can buy, if you're a young person or if you're someone who's looking for a budget car that's very reliable, you can get for under $5,000, a 2002 to 2006 Toyota Camry 4-cylinder, I believe, is the best car money can buy. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention about this Toyota Camry. 12 months ago, I would never have been able to touch this Camry wholesale for $2,000. I would have never been able to sell this Camry for $3,500. 12 months ago, this thing is going to go for $3,000 at the auction or more, $3,500. So that means we would have had to sell it on our lot for like $5,000 to even make the kind of money that we want to make on our cars. So this is something that's changing in the car market. Now, during tax time, which is what we're approaching right now, prices are going to spike back up. So this car that I bought for $2,000 last week, 2 weeks from now, if tax checks hit, this thing's going back up to $3,000, $3,500. That's how quickly these car prices change when dealers get the money in their hands, when they have to replenish their inventory so quickly. This is one of the vehicles that is going to absolutely spike, and this is why we're not going to buy cars right after tax time. This is why you should not buy cars right after tax time or even during tax time, because all these dealers, they're getting money in. Their thing is going to continue to happen, and they're not going to be negotiable. And a lot of them are going to jack up their prices around that time because they know that the money's coming. All right, here's another one that we would not have been able to even touch 12 months ago. This is a 2015 Mazda 6. I paid $2,800 for this. Now, when I'm talking to you about these prices, $2,800 is what we raised our hand for at the auction. There's going to be other fees associated with that. So we'll have $2,800 in the car. We'll have another probably $300, $350 and a buyer fee. Buyer fees are out of control. That's a video for another day. That on top of the car, we'll have inspection, which is cheap. We'll probably have to fix something. A lot of these cars under $5,000, we'll have to do something to it. Luckily, I have the superhero Alex, who is on my staff, and in a lot of cases, it's just parts that we have to pay for. We get those wholesale too, because we buy a lot of parts. But when you add all that stuff up, say we paid $2,800 for it, hopefully we don't have to put very much more money into it other than what's sitting here right now. And we can sell it for $3,500. But if we have to put more money into it, the more money we put into it, we'll price it off of what we actually have in the car. And I'll tell you what we actually try to make per car. Our average is right around 1,200 bucks. So what we'll typically do is we'll price the car to make, if it's a really nice car, around 1,500 bucks when Nate, my sales manager, initially prices the vehicle. And then we let the market tell us if that's the right price or not. And if we get a bunch of calls on the car, if we get a bunch of leads from online, if we get a bunch of test drives on a vehicle, then that means that the price is right. But if we don't, price is right. Good show, long time ago. I guess it's still on now. I don't know. I haven't watched it since I was like 6. But got off topic. This is what I do. Oh yeah. But if the market tells us that the price is wrong, then we won't get test drives, we won't get calls, we won't get leads. And then after about 2 weeks or so, Nate, my sales manager, he'll start lowering the price. And about every 2 weeks, we'll lower the price by about 500 bucks. So you can do the math. If we price a car to make 1,500 bucks and we keep that thing about 6 weeks, well, we're just trying to really get out of it at that point. And in that case, we can break even. So when I say I make $1,200 per car, that's an average. So some cars, we might hit a home run, make $1,800, $2,000. And some cars, we can take a loss. Our loss rate is, we like to have it around 5% ever since the market has been crazy and we've been taking more gambles on cars, buying a lot of different cars that are out of our comfort zone that we know have some kind of issues that we gamble on a little bit, and hopefully we don't have to deal with it, but we do have to put more motors, more transmissions in cars now than what we used to. But our loss percentage is probably somewhere around 7-8%. Of all the cars we buy, we'll lose money. About 7-8% of all of them would be my guess right now. I don't even want to look at the numbers honestly, because it might be higher than that, and that would make me sick. But where we used to be when cars were plentiful and we could go to auction and there'll be cars everywhere and we could get good prices, 5% is where we were, and that was outstanding. Now it's going to be a little bit less than that. All right, and my public service announcement. Yes, this Camry is 2,500 bucks. No, you can't buy it from me. I know I'm a used car dealer and I'm showing you my cars that I have for sale, but I don't give out my location. Really, I would rather you not buy a car. I'm trying to give you advice. I'd rather you not buy a car during tax time anyway, because you can get better prices later on in the year. But what I'm saying to you is that, okay, if I'm a used car dealer, I'm trying to give you advice on YouTube. I'm trying to talk to you about the car market on YouTube. And if you feel like I'm trying to sell you my cars while I'm doing that, then the message is going to be completely different. And that's why we don't give out our dealership location. If you email me asking me where the car, I get emails every day asking me where my car dealership is. They want to buy a car from me. I'm not going to give it out. I'm very sorry, but I feel like my message has to stay the same. It has to stay the same all the time, no matter if I have 150 cars or if I have 10 cars on my lot. If I'm not going to give it to one person, I'm not going to give my lot out to anyone else. So that's the thing. I want to be a car dealer that you can trust the information that I'm giving to you, and I feel like if I'm on YouTube giving you information and then also trying to peddle my wares to you while I'm doing that, it's not going to come across the same way, and you're not going to be able to trust me to give you accurate information.